I'm switching gears here
Oh.
to the uninvited heard around the world.
The uninvited around the world.
Amber, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. We are so excited for this interview.
Yay, we're doing it.
And happy Pride to you.
Happy Pride to you
Yes.
and to you, listeners.
So, with Pride season upon us, do you have any plans? Deep
You made
sigh.
me pull out my little calendar. I'm in these streets for Pride. Last Pride was my first Pride, and I didn't do nearly enough.
I
I
mean,
didn't do nearly
the
enough.
announcement is pretty badass.
Ah,
Very last day to drop the announcement and all that. It's pretty cool. So now you'll have the full cycle of Pride.
I
So
know.
much you
I'm
could
so
do.
excited.
Yeah, that's
I
exciting.
wanted to go to West Hollywood Pride. Not gonna get to go to do that. And then
Okay.
I was sad. But then I found out I get to go to World Pride in DC.
Mm,
So that's where I'll be to kick things off. Then
to kick it
I'm
off.
going to be doofing around all I just feel like anytime there I have a free evening, I'm
Hmm.
during the month of fucking June, I'm
Hmm.
gonna be in the streets acting bad. And
And
that's
that's
my
what you're
goal.
supposed to do. That is
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do. And you're in New York, and New York has events, I feel like, every day of June.
Every day.
Every day there's a
Yeah.
Pride theme day. There's a
Yeah.
for everything. So that's exciting. Okay. You did come out, iconic, come out last year, end of the month, before the
Yay.
first of the month. That was cool. How has it felt being out for a year? Or how has it been socially? How has it been for you emotionally? Yeah, tell us about how this year has been.
Yeah, I came out last year and it was almost exactly nothing. I'm telling you, but only because I had a show called The Amber Ruffin Show for a few years back, starting in the pandemic. And I was straight up. I was like, I will not be having any homophobia. Don't bring that around me. I will not be having any transphobia. Stay at home with that. So I had already called anyone who had any feeling other than hooray
Yeah.
about our community. So then by the time I came out, didn't nobody care? Literally no one cared, and I realized because if you're my age, you shoulda gone through something, but not if you waited for forever. So
Is that what is your advice for someone coming out later in life?
I am of the belief, and this is so funny because when I thought I was straight, and, your lesbian girlfriends will be like, "Girl, everybody's gay, they just don't know." And I was like, "They're so arrogant, you don't know." And now that I'm looking at it from the other side,
Everybody's a little
all
gay.
women are queer.
Yeah.
Every single woman is queer.
Yeah.
And it's just like if you are attracted to men, then you're attracted to the way men present.
Hmm.
And if you're attracted to the way men present, then you're attracted to the way many women present.
Yeah.
And you don't meet people with their clothes off. You are attracted to women and men. There's nothing about it. Like if you feel attraction to a person, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So Amber, you didn't know early on. Was this a revelation later on in life where
I
you
had
were
no
just
idea.
like you had no idea?
I had
Okay.
no idea.
How did you? When did you know?
I feel like I had always thought that androgynous people were very hot. And I
Hmm.
just thought that as like a punchline. I didn't think that that was a real
Yeah.
thing. But then once I got a divorce, I was like, "Well, I I don't want any more men near me ever."
Oh.
I always get in the interview and I go, "Imma act right this interview," and I never
Yeah.
fucking do.
It's
I
okay.
always am
Hey,
saying some wild shit.
hey. The next one, we'll get the next one. The next
The
interview. Yeah.
next one,
The
yeah, the
next one.
next
The
one I'm
next
gonna
one.
act right.
The
This one
next
I'm
one.
still gonna
The next
be
one.
crazy.
Okay.
Um, But yeah, and then I just thought, well, let me join a queer dating app. It had just zeroed in on me. It was
Yeah.
like, would you are you into non-binary people? Do you like it was so not what I thought any dating app was.
Mhm.
First of all, I don't think I had ever been on a dating app. I'm old. I was on websites. That was the last time I was single. They were sites.
Full URLs too. You had to put all the wwws. You couldn't even search it. Just you could have just searched Black Planet. You had to www dot goes back.
That's right.
Only some of us know. Okay. So positive experience on dating apps. Everyone around you was cool. Family was with your, parents, family, sister. What did they say when you came out? You're like, okay, all right.
My parents are old, and I was like, "Well, here it goes."
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, "Don't nobody care." I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it because my dad loves the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and that those 2 things usually don't go together. But
Yeah.
he didn't care. He was like, "Who
Yeah.
cares?" So instantly tired of me.
Yeah. Can you move? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Sit
I'm
down.
tired.
Well, that's
But
good. That's
yeah,
good. Well, Amber, I'm gonna take it back, and I want to ask. You grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. Can
that's
you
right.
tell me how it was growing up in Omaha as a young Black girl?
Bad. It was bad.
I would imagine. I mean,
No, that's fine. Omaha's fine.
okay.
It's a fine place to be. It's fine now. Now it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But, back then it was its own thing. So much so that my sister and I wrote a book called You'll Never Believe What Happened to Lacey, Crazy Stories About Racism that are just true stories about funny racist things that have happened to her in Omaha, Nebraska. There was enough for a full
A whole book,
New York Times
a
bestseller.
bestseller.
Full frickin' book. And that's kind of Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of racism, a lot of it is funny. Oh my god, we have our first black mayor.
Wow. Look at y'all. Look at y'all.
He's 2 days old, I'm so excited.
White Omaha residents are going to tell you that they voted for him for the rest of their lives. Like, I did vote for Mayor
I
and some of
forgot
them
that.
and Barack. They're going to tell you both. So be
That's
prepared for
right.
that for the rest of your life.
You're right. I
So,
did not think of that, and you are
yeah,
so
no, that's the
right.
thing. I'm sure your experiences in Omaha shaped your comedy, your writing. When did you first start to fall in love with writing and, it be something that you aspired to do?
I started improvising first, and then all improvisers are in 2 groups. We go and improvise, and then we go and write sketches with each other, everyone does it. And I just thought, I'm not good at sketch writing because no one really ever let me.
Mm,
Like, when I was in Omaha, Nebraska, actually, I was in a sketch writing group, and they just thought what I wrote was fantastic.
mhm.
And then when I got to Boom Chicago in Amsterdam, which is where I performed for years, they were like, "No, thank you." So then I just completely internalized it and
Yeah.
was like, "Well, that's something I'm bad at." What a fucking idiot. So then I just, wrote you have to write
Hmm.
at Boom Chicago. So I wrote, but I was just like never expecting anything of it, didn't really have faith in it. And then I got to the second city, and then they really were like into my writing. And
Yeah.
that's when I was like, oh, okay, I forgot. I forgot that I was good at this.
Yeah.
So then you couldn't tell me after that.
I mean, it's Second City. It's like, well, no one else's opinion matters now. Thanks, everyone. I'm switching gears here
Oh,
to the uninvited heard around the world. It's a cool way to be uninvited from something like that. Is if
yeah,
you're gonna
pretty
be
loud.
uninvited, let it
Yeah.
be this. So the White House Correspondents Dinner, last month, you were uninvited from it.
Uninvited
Uninvited.
around the world.
I was just, who was the first person to make you laugh about it?
I was actually going to brunch with a million of my friends, so it destroyed the vibe for like 2 hours.
Mm.
And then we started to be like,
I was like, was there a table limit?
I gotta have another mimosa.
Yeah.
Gotta let me have it. I feel like my friends I was hanging out with because I can't be too serious for too long,
Mhm.
but my feelings were hurt, so I needed alcohol.
Yeah.
Then once I had a little drink, I was doing good.
Are there any plans to have a comedy special, take these jokes and for us to hear them, or we'll just always just have to use our imagination?
I don't think I'm going to ever do that.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, I got off scot-free. I got a lot of publicity, oddly, because like, for those 2 hours when I was sad, I thought, "Oh, wow, I really stepped in it, and I really fucked up, and everyone sees how big of a up it was." Then everyone was like, "You're being silenced. They're taking away your blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Oh, well, shit, if this is the route we going." Yeah, they did, and their mama's a bitch.
And I would imagine your phone is just lighting up during that time too, where you're like sad, but you're also like looking at your phone like, all right, well, oh,
Yeah, when I was like, "That's how everyone felt about it," I was like, "Oh, okay, then me too."
yeah,
Yeah,
same,
fuck both those.
same, like wiping tears. No, totally, me too. I don't
Yeah.
care at all. I did want to talk about Have I Got News for You because I
Yay!
love the show. I feel like, especially in these times, being able to joke about the ending of the world, the calamity going on, but still laughing. Y'all just got renewed for a third season. Can you tell me
Yay!
what you're most excited about for this next season?
I'm very excited to hang out with Michael and Roy. They're 2 of my honestly favorite people. I freaking love those guys, and it's a nice place to go to process the news. Like, I'm still
Yeah.
at Late Night with Seth Meyers, and we're largely remote, so you don't get to be there like, "Oh my god," you know?
Yeah.
But Have I Got News for You, you get to sit in a room with a bunch of people who feel exactly the same way you do and be like, "Can you believe this?"
One of the reasons I love the show is the chemistry between you three. Like, I can imagine those pre-production calls and just being around each other is just like the best of times.
Yeah, we really enjoy each other genuinely, and then you'll bring in 2 perfect strangers, and then by the end of the show, they're our fucking best friends every time. It's so fun.
Yeah. Do y'all
Yeah.
have any plans of having reoccurring guests? Like Jasmine Crockett was a wonderful episode, but
Didn't she do good? I mean,
it was
duh,
so
but
good.
she really
She
did.
really did. Yeah.
I wish we coulda released that whole show, because we shoot for, I don't know, 2 hours? It
Mhm.
feels like a minute, and then we only release the show's worth of stuff, but I was like, "We should be cutting these mugs up into 2, releasing the
Yeah.
whole thing." But I don't know, I bet our favorites will come back. I mean, wasn't Anthony Scaramucci, I was just like, "Dude, he was wild." I
He is
loved it.
wild. How is that when you do have, a conservative, a Republican? Do you have a voice in being like, all right, not them? Like, do you have any
No,
say in that, or you just have to?
I show up and I'm like, "Ah."
Yeah.
And I'm going to this season, I'm gonna be a better team captain
Okay.
because sometimes them Republicans show up, and Imma say what I have to say. I don't give a
Yeah.
f I'm gonna try to be a little more careful, 'cause sometimes I'm just like, "The are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try
Yeah.
to, like, tone that down
Yes. Yeah.
and try to act right.
Okay. We have some rapid fire questions
Yay!
to ask you. What was your first stand up performance or memorable theater performance?
When I first did a Boom Chicago show in Amsterdam, which is like a improv and sketch, and it's like, guitars and, smoke and big screens, it's a great show, great show.
Yeah.
But,
Sounds like it.
the first time I swung one of those, I was like, "I can't believe I made it through this show." Because if you haven't done it, it it's really hard, but once you do it, if you shook me out of a cold sleep 10 years from now, I could do it. I'd be like, "Great, no problem. Welcome to Boom Chicago. Hey, everybody, how's it?" But at first, it was so hard to get into.
Next question. A role you drop everything to play.
Oh no, something I wrote. Something I wrote. A role that I wrote and am
Yeah.
executive producing on.
Mm.
That'll get my attention.
Yeah.
But I would rather poke my eyes out than memorize a script.
Mm.
Like first it was improvising.
Mhm.
Ain't no lines. And then once you start reading off a cue card, my brain is gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's done all he can do.
What's a song that always gets you in a pride mood?
The same song I turn on every time I get ready to go out.
Okay.
Drake Daddy, I'm a Thug. Fucking love that song. I love it.
That is funny. Yes. Okay.
Unhinged Madman wrote
Mhm.
that song, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, we want kids to sing on this song.
Yeah. If you weren't a comedian, what would you be doing?
When I was growing up in Omaha, Nebraska, I thought 100% I was going to carry the mail and then do community theater at night. And that I thought that my whole life. I
Huh.
thought that right up until I got a job.
Yeah.
I thought that forever.
Why a mailman? Did your parents tell you, like, good job, good benefits, as they tend to
Yeah,
do?
good
So,
job, good benefit.
yep. You could work there forever.
Oh, but I guess I'd really probably be a braider.
Oh.
If I never got any work, I'd be like, all right, time to print these little cards, get my fingers all nimble, let's go.
Wow. They
Yeah,
make
I
good
could do
money,
that.
though, like,
They
honestly.
do though.
Is there a book or a movie that you want to see adapted for the stage?
That's a good question. You know what? 2 shows were adapted for the stage. First of all, Death Becomes Her. That was my main thing. And I thought for sure I was gonna write a Death Becomes Her. Then it showed up on Broadway. I was like, "No, I will not be doing that." But Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is so beautiful. It's so cool, and they are remaking it. And another one I would have said was Trading Places, and they are remaking it.
Oh.
So anytime you think a show would make a good musical, you too late.
It's too
By the
late.
time it has occurred to you, they're off to the races on that mug. That's a guarantee.
All right, last rapid fire question. Queer joy in one word.
Resistance.
Mm.
'Cause it is fun to be like, I'm doing it anyway. It's cool. It's cool. It's a little just like inherently rebellious. And that rules.
I'm going to end this interview here because it's a mic drop. Amber, thank you so much for speaking with us today. And happy
Yay!
Pride. Happy first
Pride.
Pride. You got to report back to us. Like, this is exciting. I hope you have a really great Pride season.
I'm gonna be so hungover at the end of this month.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah.